All right, we're live. Okay, committee, I call this meeting to order. Let's do a roll call vote. This is the Appropriations Senate Committee starting perfectly on time, 2:20 p.m., not a problem. Okay, let's do a roll call vote. Senator Takor.
Here.
Okay, Senator Fang. Fang, you're muted, but I see you. Okay, wait. Yeah, sorry about that.
Here.
Okay, awesome. You can mute again if you want. Senator Sarwar.
Here.
Awesome. Senator Hilkert. Not present. And Chairman McCracken, I am present. So can I get an approval for last meeting's minutes?
Second.
To approve.
Who motioned?
I did.
Fang? Senator Fang?
Senator Fang did.
Okay, a motion from Senator Fang to approve last meeting's minutes, which were in April. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconded from Senator Takor. Any objections? The senator just chooses not to object, therefore the minutes are approved. I heard hesitation. I will not be condoning any hesitation.
I saw Mike on mute down there.
I heard a little giggling, but not an objection. Okay, is there any public comment for this afternoon? Okay, no public comment for this afternoon. We're going into chairs, reports. That's me. Well, gentlemen, welcome to the Appropriations Committee. This is a very important and powerful committee, you'll see, and we have a lot of important work to do. What I've been doing basically is I've been setting up the appropriations forms, and I'll get more into it when I tell you guys more about what the committee does, but I've been working on the forms. They're going to be live tomorrow on Monday for student groups. So spread the word to your constituents. For any student groups looking for money, they come to us for additional money, not a budget. They go to the Board of Finance for that. But new groups come to us for a budget. Other groups for extra money come to us. So those forms are going to be live on Monday. And then starting Monday, if I have any groups requesting and approved, we will be meeting with them on a set time. So we'll decide that later on what time we want to meet. But that's what I've been working on right now. And that's all I got for now. We're going into the ranking members report. We do not have a ranking member, but I will show you in the presentation what the ranking member does, and then one of you will become the ranking member. So we're going into unfinished business. We have no unfinished business, but we do have new business. We got the meet and greet. So I know we were talking before the meeting, but let's go around in a circle. Tell us about yourself. And I told you I wanted some wacky fun facts. I wanted some crazy stuff. So we'll start with Senator Takor. Go ahead.
All right. I feel like I've done this already like 7 times for Senate. But so yeah, I'm Prakash. I'm a first-year transfer, business econ major. I'm also on the Board of Finance. I'm the Liberty Terrace Senator. I love to play poker.
Oh, wow.
Let's play poker too.
Oh, okay. What are you guys doing
wow.
what are you guys doing after the meeting tonight?
I recently I've been trying to get into game theory, but it's tough. It's I know we have a class here for it too, so but I've been looking into that. What else? I love to watch pretty much all sports. I mean, today I was gonna watch some football today, but we're here and that's okay. The Miami Heat are gonna come back from their 0-2 Lakers. I have no dude. I wrote it on one of the intros for our for one of my classes. We had to like introduce ourselves. On the bottom, I wrote, "I'm telling you, the Miami Heat are going to win the NBA championship." That was before they even got there. So I'm pretty confident about that.
Oh yeah.
What else? I'm taking Hebrew. I'm taking Hebrew this semester.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to learn that.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't have any anecdotes or
No, I think that was great. You got anything else?
No, yeah, I think that's. I mean, boys, if anyone ever wants to hang out, I mean, I'm here.
Yeah.
No, we could definitely could. Yeah.
That's
Your check on next?
Yeah,
Okay.
Senator Fang. Here we go.
My name is Steven. I'm a business econ major as well. I'm currently a senior, and I'm a business management center. Also, I was born in California. So I was born in
Wow.
California. I grew up in different countries.
Wow.
I know 3 languages, actually 4, including English.
Wow.
Well, I watch sports too. I don't really watch football, but I watch basketball, and I could tell you, the Lakers will sweep the Heat this year just because you can see the result and you can see the team effort between them. But I'm a basketball fan, and what else I could tell? I'm currently positioning as a bank teller, so I work in Key Bank. So anybody have any questions about banking or any questions about like just e-com in general, you can come to me as well. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. What countries did you grow up in, by the way?
So I was born in Cali. I moved back to Taiwan, which I'm Taiwanese.
Cool.
And then I stayed in Japan for a little bit.
Wow.
Came straight to New York for basically education. My family's around here too. And I have a brother who was also staying in California. I could speak Mandarin, basic efficiency of Japanese, basic efficiency of Taiwanese, of course English as well. So those are my languages. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Cool. So Senator Sarwar, you're up.
All right, I'm Nazir. I'm majoring in human bio. It's my first year on UAlbany. I'm the off-campus senator. There's nothing really. I don't really have anything interesting. I do play like card games like poker and blackjack, but I don't bet money because I got the worst luck of all time. And and I did wrestling in high school, but since COVID, I'm definitely not doing it now.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
What is your year? As like you're a junior, freshman, sophomore? Can you say you're the first year?
I'm a freshman.
Okay.
Oh.
So you can transfer. Yeah, I just heard you for. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
I didn't know you were a freshman. I just assumed you were a transfer because we had a lot of transfers. A lot of transfers won. Yeah, a lot of transfers won in the last election. It's cool. The 2 senators that represent me on Empire are 2 transfers. And I think I was telling Senator Tricor this. I should never vote for transfers. I was like, who do you think you are? But this year I looked at the ballot. I read what they had to say. I was like, these people aren't that bad. Consider me more open-minded. But gentlemen, I'm Tanner. This is my 3rd term as a senator at large for the Student Association Senate. This is my 3rd.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know if it's an achievement or a curse. To be honest,
it's a great achievement. It's a great achievement.
Thank you. So yeah, and that's 3 years on this committee, the Appropriations Committee. I've been a regular member. I've been the Appropriations ranking member. I've been the chair. The vice chair of the Senate. So, I got a lot of experience. I'm really happy to teach you guys, what we do here and also do the work because you can see it. Well, I don't know with COVID, but in the past, you can really physically see the work you do in this committee. Like you fund an org's group event, and next thing you know, you're walking by the ballroom and you hear music bop, and you look in there, you're like, there they are, and you're like you funded that. And it's a great feeling, it really is. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this committee. But fun fact about me, I can name all the United States presidents in order, and tell you a fun fact about each one. So that was something I could do since like high school, and I could just say it. So I guess.
Quick question: so you want to be a president of the United States?
Of the United States? That's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's the plan.
That's a pretty good plan. That's a pretty good plan.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I got them all on my wall. I have a poster on my wall. I'm real like U.S. history fanatic. I got books on books about the presidents. Forget about it. It's crazy. And it's just American history in general. And so yeah, I'm a political science major. I am a senior now. Like I said, I live on Empire Commons. Minor in emergency preparedness, homeland security, cybersecurity. Yeah, that's me. Any questions about me?
I'll have a question about your dream and your plan. So how did you develop to become like an actual plan to become United States president? I'm president of the United States. I'm sorry.
That's fine. To be honest with you, it was. We got Senator Hilkert joining actually.
All the boys are here now.
The gang's all here.
Oh, here we are. Here he comes. Senator Hilkert, welcome. Clap it up, everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear us? Okay, well, I guess, okay, to answer your question, so oh wait, he's connecting now. Did that fail? Did the connection, can you hear us, Senator Hilkert?
I think that did fail.
Yeah, did you see the X? I've never seen
Yeah.
that before. Oh,
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 You can do it, Mason.
I see red. That's not a good sign.
no, I've never seen this before.
He's probably trying to dial in.
Oh,
something.
there he is.
Oh.
Hey, we
His
can't
audio
hear
is still
you.
off, though.
We can't hear you. He's driving somewhere. We can't hear you. Look at him. He's driving. He's on vacation. This is what happened.
There we go.
Hey!
Hey.
Hi, I was camping, but I
Oh!
thought I was gonna be able to
Camping.
come.
This
Yeah,
guy's on vacation.
yeah, and I didn't know there wasn't gonna be signal until I got there. So, yeah.
You're actually just on time. We're doing the meet and greet.
At least you're in the meet and
Awesome.
greet. Introduce yourself before
Yeah.
you join vacation, at least.
Oh, okay. I'm Mason. Yeah.
Fun fact, you just went camping.
Yeah, fun facts, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the major?
I went camping. Sorry, it's hard to hear.
No, that's fine. We
It's
were
really
saying
glitchy.
what's your major, what's some fun facts? What are
You
you
play
passionate
poker?
Oh,
about?
okay.
Oh, do you play poker? That's a
So-
good question.
Do I play poker?
Yeah.
I played it once, and the first time I played, it was with a group of friends, and we gambled with pennies and dimes. But I won,
Oh.
and I never played before.
I
that
don't
was
think
fun.
you mentioned the word gamble in this meeting right now.
Oh, I thought you said poker.
Oh, we did.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
we
fine. We
did.
play poker. We
You're
play
the one that
poker.
said gambling, though.
Yeah, no, Mason gamble.
Yeah.
Don't
By the
you
way,
apparently gamble
Why
when
not?
you play poker?
wait a
What would be the point
second.
of playing poker?
By the way, Senator Hilker, just so you know, pennies and dimes, bro. Welcome to Appropriations. Wait till you see our budget lines.
Yeah. So I'm a political science major. Fun fact about me, I don't really have any fun facts, but yeah.
No, that's fine. And that's awesome. Well, I hope you had a great trip and everything. And, well,
Yeah, please be safe. Please be safe too on your vacation.
Huh?
I said, please be safe on your vacation, on your camping.
yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a given. You're not driving, right? You're the passenger?
I hope you not.
No, I'm in the back seat. I'm not driving.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a public meeting, so does anyone in the car have a public comment?
Does anyone in the car have a public comment?
Are they undergraduate
For
students?
yeah,
Okay, good.
for the appropriations meeting.
What do you say?
Appropriations. No, they don't.
Oh, they don't know what that means? Okay, that's something to work on this year. Okay, so anyway, we are at 2:33. This is a great meet and greet. By the way, Senator Fan, you asked me why, what was my passion for public service. It started in high school, and it was just kind of like an appreciation for the system we have here. Like if you study human history going back like to ancient times, right, to now, and how far we've expanded and where our society is now, like the fact that we have a system that gives power to the people and anyone can run or vote, I just wanted it to be done right. That's why I've been working in government. I interned for state senators. I now work full time for a state senator. So I just figured like we have this system where people do have the power to govern, the people they come from, but that can be easily abused. And I just want to make sure that the people in government and the people that are serving in elected positions actually remember why this system was initially created. So that's why I ran for student government. I actually ran for my local school board down in my district, my first real election. First time I ever voted was for myself on a ballot. That was really weird. So anyway, it's a little about me, and I guess that brings that to a close. Any other questions from anyone for anyone? We're an open discussion. All right. Well, listen, that was a good meet and greet. Senator Hilkert, you're frozen. Okay, no, you're back. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to present, because now we're going on to the Appropriations Committee presentation. So now I'm going to teach you all the ways of approps, okay, and kind of like a brief overview. I just need to figure out how to make this work with like sharing a screen. So let me just see how this can, okay, let's see. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. What
Yeah.
if I did this?
Perfect.
Wait, so is the whole screen the presentation?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so here's the presentation. Okay. So this is like I said, the Senate Appropriations Committee 2020, 2021. Everyone present in the meeting, it's all 5 members, and let's learn a little about the committee. So what is the Appropriations Committee? Well, it's all about the money, gentlemen. It's all about the money. So we are a committee. It can be up to 10 senators appointed by the chair of the Senate. And together as a collective body, we hold total authority over 3 appropriations lines in the budget. So in order for these to be authorized and requested by student groups and used by the comptroller, student groups have to come to us first. Now it says this in the bylaws, to consider all student group, and then it says budgetary, but that is not really an accurate representation of what we actually do. It's more monetary requests during the student association fiscal year. So that's kind of that's a brief overview of what the committee as a whole does. So like I said, we have 3 lines of the budget. Can you guys see this, or are your faces blocking it?
I see it.
Okay, good, because
I can see it.
okay, on my screen, the faces are blocking it. And by the way, just interrupt me if you have any questions. I'd rather you ask questions on the spot than like at the end. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So just jump in at any time. So there's 3 lines that we vote to authorize in the form of requests. So you have the supplemental allocation line, the new and unfunded line, and the SA sponsorship line. And what you can see to the right is the current allocation in our budget. So there's $60,000 in the supplemental funding allocation line, $8,000 for the new and unfunded line, and for SA sponsorship, $7,000. So I'll explain exactly what each one is used for, but that just kind of gives you a perspective of how much are in these lines. And just so you know, additionally, that we as a committee come together and meet with student groups and vote on these bills, and we do not stop doing stuff until all these lines reach 0. So that, like, you know, that could happen in December, that could happen in February. Last year it didn't happen at all because the pandemic kind of cut off stuff short. But yeah, we are just a committee until it reaches 0. I can still call us to order if we want to like go over and work on bills or something like that. But when it all reaches 0, this committee kind of ceases to do things. So anyway, let's keep going here. So let's talk about the supplemental funding line. So this is
Tanner,
yes.
what happened with the money that we didn't use last year?
Well, that's more of a question for the comptroller, but for any line of student association, all money that is not used, it rolls over to our account for next year, but it doesn't stay under the line. So like, there's only one that I can speak of. There's only actually one line that does that. It's in 5 Quad's budget. For any money that 5 Quad doesn't use, instead of it going back to SA, it rolls into their capital, what's it called? Capital replacement fund, which is used to buy their new rigs every like 10 years. But everything else, like if we never reach 0 and the academic year ends, then that just goes into SA's account. And then SA can use that for anything else next year. So nothing from one year rolls over to the next except for that 5 Quad line. So it's either 0, or if we still have money remaining at the end, it will it will just go back to SA as a whole. Yep. Okay, so here's a supplemental funding example to the right. So every student group that is permanently recognized but has a current budget and is doing things with the budget that the Board of Finance and Senate gave them last year, they can actually come for more money throughout the year. So that's why we're here, is to give out the supplemental funding. So they can request additional funding, and this is from my experience of being on the Appropriations Committee. This is some reasons why they may come. Some unexpected additional costs, the expansion of a planned and already budgeted event. Sometimes they have new event ideas because like if basically how the budget process works is the e-board from 2019-2020 requests the budget for 2020, 2021. And then in that year, a new e-board comes in. So if that new e-board has different event ideas, it may cost more. So that's another reason they'll come to us. Also, sometimes their funding for initiatives are denied by the Board of Finance during last year's budget season. And sometimes funding for initiatives are denied by the Constituent Relations Committee during the last year's appeals process. So sometimes they come back again and are like, hey, the Board of Finance didn't want this in our budget, but do you? Now, I'm speaking as the chair, so I got to remain neutral. But as a senator, I usually don't like that because I feel like we have to respect that old process. But that is a reason they can come. And I'll let you guys all think for yourselves on that one. But obviously, there's other ones, and they happen all the time, and precedents are set every year. But those are the main reasons people will come back. So if it makes any sense, the light green is their current budget. And that's used for events and items and whatever the case may be. And then they can request more. So that's the point of coming for supplemental. So if they already have a current budget, they come through this line. So any questions? And I know I'm talking pretty fast, but I'll slow down if you guys want me to. But okay, cool. So we also dish out new and unfunded budgets. So this is for when you have a new student group. So if you have a new student group that has become SA recognized, and you might have groups coming up to you saying, hey, like, we're looking for a budget. We just started. Like, they do have to go through the student group affairs process through the executive branch to become a recognized group. But if they have no budget, but they're SA recognized, they come to us. So it used to be $250 a semester, but now starting last year with the Board of Finance's bill, they can now come for up to $400 per semester for their budget. So a starting budget can range from 1 penny to $400. And so they come to us and they present an entire budget for the semester. Or it could be in halves. So they can come for one event and another event in the same semester, and those two cannot add up past $400. Additionally, if a student group is approved by us and it successfully receives a new and unfunded budget for 2 semesters in a row, then they can apply for like a big budget for the next year. So just an example, let's say there's a new group called the Group X, and they come into us and they're like, how you doing? We're looking for a budget, and it's like a $300 budget, and we approve it, and it's signed by the president. And then they use that budget, and then they come back next semester in spring, and they're like, hey, we're back. We're going to get a $350 budget for this semester. And we approve it. It's signed. They use it. Then next semester, they can apply for a budget as large as they want and as large as the Board of Finance approves for the 2021-2022 semester. So that's kind of the process we have in place. If they get one and then don't get one in a row, they go back to 0 for the next year. So let's say this gets a little confusing, but if they get a $400 budget this year, they don't come back next semester, and then next year they come for another one in the fall, they're starting over again. That's their first one. And then the next one would be their second one in a row. So it's kind of just the reason this is, I wasn't here when this policy was put in place. It was already like this when I got here. But I believe the reason we have this policy is because we want to make sure a student group is committed and they have the energy and population to continue on. If they could just come up for a budget, we don't know if they're going to be committed next year and, giving them $1,000. But if they come for 2 budgets in a row through us, it gives the Board of Finance the inclination that they are going to be a committed and relevant org on campus. Okay. If any group already has a budget, like a full budget, let's say $8,000, like in my example before, and they don't go to the Board of Finance the next year and they don't receive a budget, they become new and unfunded again. So sadly, that did happen to a couple of our groups last year. Like, I'm talking groups with like $10,000 budgets, but they just never applied for a new budget. They're probably going to come back to us this year for a new and unfunded budget. And we can't give them more than 400 because they've been de-ranked back down to new and unfunded. So any questions about that? And this is the most exciting because you get to experience and hear about new groups all the time. And it's pretty cool for when they come in. So the last line we have is the SA sponsorship line. Now, I will say that there's nothing in the bylaws that talks about this line, but this line was put in place in the budget and there's precedent on how it's used. So this is how it's been used in my years. So organizations that are SA and UA, UAlbany recognized, but not eligible for an SA budget, may request funding through the sponsorship line. So a good example is fraternities and sororities in good standing. So student activity fee, if student activities has a list of frats and sororities in good standing, they can actually come to our committee for like sponsorship funding. So if they have like an event going on and they're like, hey, does SA want to sponsor us with some money? They can come through this line. And now this line is $7,000. So I have not seen any other groups besides fraternities and sororities. I remember one other group that wasn't a frat or sorority coming through when I was a sophomore, but it's been a long time. But yeah, if they can't get a budget, but UAlbany still recognizes them as an undergraduate organization, they have access to this line. And I think as a committee, we should talk this year about how are we going to define this in the bylaws, because it's not in the bylaws, but there's budget lines and there's precedent behind why this line is a thing. Any questions? Cool. Okay. All right, so this is the life of an appropriations bill. So this kind of puts into perspective where we are in the process and how this works. So basically for any of the lines, let's just assume it's supplemental funding, right? A group comes and they submit a form to me, the chair of the appropriations committee. So that's me right there. Do you guys see my mouse?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so there's the chair of the appropriations committee. So I either approve or deny their initial request. And the reason I would do that is not based off of my idea of policy, like whether or not I think this is right, but whether or not it matches up with just the bare bones requirements. Like, does this have invoices? Does this have receipts? And by the way, we'll get into that next week about what a bill or request should look like. But anyway, so I would deny it and tell them why, or approve it and set up a meeting for us to meet with them. So that's why it comes over to number 2, the appropriations committee. So then we schedule a time for them to come in, and then it's like Shark Tank. They're going to present to us their request in front of all of us, and they'll be subject to our questions, and they'll be subject to present like everything in detail. So then they leave the Zoom, or in real life, they would leave the meeting, and then we would debate and discuss whether or not we want to approve, amend, or deny the request. So we would either approve it in the way it is, amend it to make it either larger or smaller, or just deny it completely. And then if we do approve it or amend it, it comes on down to the SA Senate. So then the bill hits the SA Senate floor, and the group does the same exact thing. They come and they present to Senate, and then Senate questions them. But then also, I'm the sponsor of the bill, so I become a representative of them. Even if I fully disagree with the bill, if you guys, as the will of the committee, passes it, as a Prop Chair, I now have to represent and fight for the bill to pass. So they'll be questioned, but also I will be questioned because I'm the sponsor of the bill. Okay, if it passes the Senate, it goes to the president's desk, and the president signs it or vetoes it. If it vetoes, it goes back to us in the SA Senate, and then we can either override it or not. And then it comes down, and number 5. Okay, by the way, if it's overridden or just signed into law, then it comes down to the comptroller. So now the comptroller gets the bill, and then the comptroller authorizes that amount of funding to be added to the finance tab of the student group's budget. So once the comptroller does that and authorizes it in the finance tab, then a student group can go to Student Affairs My Involvement and submit a PR with the money that we gave them. So that is the life of an appropriations bill, and we're the first step. We are the first level of where student groups have to go. So that is the long life of an appropriations bill, but it's how it happens. And just so you know, the life of a PR is then 3 to 4 weeks. So student groups should probably come to us 6 weeks before, at the bare minimum, 6 weeks before their planned event. So that just puts into perspective, and it's a very cool but long process. So anyone have any questions?
When the bill goes to the Senate floor, Does it have to pass with 2/3 or half?
That is a really good question. You know, wow, I should know that. Let me check the bylaws. To be honest with you, I do think it's 2/3, but let me check
Okay.
for you right now. That's here we go. That's a good question. Let's see. And it is scary because maybe it doesn't say it. If it doesn't say it, then it's simple majority. But let's see. I think it's here. I think it's 2/3, but I don't want to speak because I'm not fully confident with it. Let's see. Approved by those in attendance. That doesn't really make sense. It says approved, but it doesn't put the vote count. I can find that out for you. I do think it's 2/3. And sometimes Robert's Rule says it. Okay. Approved by those in attendance. Yeah, that's all it says. Approved by those in attendance. So it doesn't indicate it. I think precedent might be 2/3, but technically it's only those in attendance. So that's something to talk about as a committee. It's scary how much precedent alone operates us, not the actual bylaws. That's why we got to fix it for sure. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's 2/3, but it may be simple majority. It would probably be simple majority if not indicated otherwise. So that's, to answer your question.
Yep.
Bylaw changes are 2/3 because the bylaws specifically says that. But yeah, it's definitely simple majority in our committee. And so I guess if it's simple majority in our committee, it's simple majority on the floor.
Okay.
Cool. I needed to do some research, but that's the answer. Anyone else? Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll carry on. So this is an example of appropriations bill from last year, and this is actually a new and unfunded bill, and you can tell because of the amount. If it's really low, it probably is, but the actual one is the first clause of the bill, that it'll be transferred from the new and unfunded account. That's when you know it's a new and unfunded budget. So it was only $250 last year. Now it's up to $400, but you can see it's itemized, which we'll get more into this next meeting, but it's itemized. So you have soap carving and then the amount, paint and sip, the amount, pizza party, the amount, and meeting materials and the amount. So as you can see, it's a new group. They have like little small events and stuff like that, and something typical you'll see. You know, it's got the appropriations vote 301, and it's got to be signed by the president, and that was the president of last year. So any questions about the bill? Oh, and actually you brought up, Senator Core, how you'd be watching football right now. Senator Owen Howard was our chair for last year's fall semester. Me and him are both huge football fans, but he was on Appropes for 3 years, and now this is my 3rd year in Appropes. The Sunday meetings hurt us. They do. We have missed the 1 o'clock games for 3 years now of college because of appropriations. So that's the commitment we make to the students.
That is dedication.
Yes, and he's a bigger fan than I, but I'm also I'm a Jets fan, but I'm a big football fan in general. So
Life's tough.
Oh, for Jets? Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But just in general, it hurts as well. I'm a big fantasy player as well. Anyway, any questions? Okay, cool. So let's just, to wrap it up, what we do. So our powers and responsibilities. So this is for me. I'm the appropriations chair, and these are my powers and responsibilities outlined by precedent and the bylaws. So I meet with student groups at their request, and I also hold office hours for them for initial help on how to create the request form. And also if I deny them and they have to change a few things, I have to help them out. So I kind of make sure that whether or not I agree with the principle of why we'd be giving them the funding, I have to help them just make sure it's presentable. So I review or approve and deny the request. If I approve it, I present the request to the Appropriations Committee. And then by presenting it, I bring in the group themselves and they present it. And then I also preside over all committee meetings and I maintain Robert's Rules of Order. I know we've been a little kind of open discussion today. But when the group comes in, you do have to be called on to ask a group a question or called on for debate. But right now we're just an open discussion. And I do vote last on every bill, and I am required to abstain unless I'm the tiebreaker vote. So if 2 of you vote yes, 2 of you vote no, I do then get the right to break the tie. And then if the bill passes, I submit the appropriations bill and a memo to the chair of the Senate, and then I present appropriations bills to the Senate. And that's the brief overview of what I do as chair. We are going to select a ranking member out of the 4 of you. Well, I am going to select a ranking member. I think I recommended to the chair of the Senate, and he will pick one of you. So this is what the ranking member does. So they assume chair duties and responsibilities if I'm not here. So whether or not that be I can't make the meeting, or I guess we'll do the extreme version, like what happens with I don't want to spoil a house of cards, but just when the president, like, I don't know, goes under a coma, then yes, if I go under a coma, then the ranking member becomes the chair. And also you have to maintain, if you're the ranking member, weekly attendance records, a voting list of all the members, and vote counts. So if anyone wanted to know, hey, can I get the vote counts for these bills? It's public. Everything we do is public. The only people not allowed to attend our debates are the student groups that we're debating. As presiding officer, that it gives in the bylaws, I have the power to remove them from the meeting and not attend the public debate. Technically, they can go back and read the minutes. Technically, they can go back and watch the video, but they can't be there while it's happening. But it's weird. They can be there when Senate debates it, so that's kind of weird. I just thought about that. Anyway, you also need to record all committee minutes. Now, committee minutes won't be that bad, but still, writing minutes is a pain. So if you're ready to commit to it, you have to write everything that everyone says, and also record the vote counts and also the amounts requested. And it's not that bad. I have a template. I was ranking member last year. It honestly helps me pay attention more. I'm just writing down what everyone's saying and stuff like that. It's not that bad. And then you present that to me, and then we approve at the next meeting. And also, the ranking member does have the power to present appropriations bills, and it says whether or not if I want you to, you can, or if I'm unable to, you can. The bylaws doesn't say that a regular appropriations member can actually present an appropriations bill. I think we should change that, but technically the only 2 people outlined in the bylaws that can present an appropriations bill is the chair and the ranking member. Any questions? Cool. So what I'm going to have is for anyone, was that a no, Senator Hilkert?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So whoever wants to be the ranking member of the committee, email me and let me know, and we can set up a time to talk about it, and then I will recommend one of you to the chair of the Senate. Now, I think this is a great position to have if you're looking to be more involved and also, kind of help out the committee in a huge way. And also, the way it kind of works is if you're here and you're thinking about running for Senate in the future and you're thinking about being more involved in the Appropriations Committee, this is a great stepping stone to have an involved role in the committee. So I really hope that a lot of you are interested. So just let me know and we'll talk about it and we'll make one of you the ranking member. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So this is just the regular members of the Appropriations Committee, and this is your powers and requirements. So you must attend all committee meetings unless an excuse is provided to me, the chair of the committee. And I'll also, next week, I'm going to outline attendance requirements. So if you miss a certain amount unexcused or excused, you can be subject to removal from the committee. Trust me, it won't be that harsh. But I do expect you guys all to come if you can, because it's really important work what we're doing. And again, you vote on all requests presented to the committee unless you have a conflict of interest. So the basic conflict of interest would be if you are in a club and they're requesting money, please do not question, please do not debate, please do not vote, please abstain. And if anything, leave the Zoom if you are in the group. You cannot use your position of power to benefit or, I guess, not benefit other groups. You definitely don't want to do that. So if you are in a group, let me know. You're going to have to fill out that form, the senator disclosure form that the chair sent to you, and I'll have a copy of those, so I'll know. if you are in a group and you're voting on that group, because I'll have all of your affiliations. Okay, you also need to remain viewpoint neutral. Now that's defined in the bylaws in the 500 sections, and I could email it to you guys, but to give you kind of a brief overview of what it is, a brief description is basically you cannot vote in terms of the group's request based on whether you agree with the group's mission statement or not. So here's the perfect and normal example, the basic example. You have college Democrats and college Republicans. So if the college Republicans come in here and they're requesting to go on a trip, okay? If you're a Democrat and you're like, I don't agree with the Republican Party, that cannot be a reason to deny the college Republicans' request. What your job to do is look at the college Republicans' mission statement and determine whether or not it matches up with what they're doing. So if they're like, hey, we're going to go on a group bonding trip to Washington, D.C. and watch the Washington football team play football, and we're going to bond watching football, you can be like, that really doesn't match up with your mission statement of, political involvement and like the Republican Party platform. But if they come here and they go, hey, we're going to go on a trip to Washington, D.C. and attend a conservative conference, that definitely matches with their mission statement. Not only are they traveling to D.C., but they're attending and representing UAlbany at this conference. That's something that matches up with the mission statement. Now, those are two examples. Not once did I say I agree or not with the mission statement. All I'm doing as an appropriations member is matching that up with the event or items at hand. So that's the perfect example. And vice versa, if Democrats come in and you're a Republican, you can't vote them down just because they're Democrats. But if their request is, let's say if their request is more than their budget alone, that's not really supplemental funding. That's kind of like double their budget. That's a reason to vote no. So there's reasons to vote no, but who they are and what they believe in, that's off the table. And so there's actually been some pretty intense examples of viewpoint neutrality kind of biting SA in the butt. I think it was either 4 or 5 years ago, there was a hate group that tried becoming recognized, and SA couldn't deny them based off what they believed in. But they had like a paperwork error down the road, so they didn't become recognized. But viewpoint neutrality can get pretty extreme, but at the bare minimum, it's just, you can't deny them based off what they believe in, religious orgs, cultural orgs, whatever the case may be. Okay, so you guys also have the power to question student groups. So when they come here and they present them, you can ask as many questions as you want, as long as it's viewpoint neutral. So here's an example. You can't ask them how many people are in your group, but you can ask them what's the price per head. So if you ask how many people are in the group, that means you're going to judge different groups based on how popular they are. You can't do that. But if their event is $2,000 and there's only 5 people in the group, that's going to be like, just to do some quick math, let's see, $2,000 divided by 5.
Hey, Senator Kraken, sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
I have to go. Sorry.
That's right. No, I hear you. Got you. Good luck with your test, okay?
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day, guys.
Yep. Peace out.
All right, y'all.
Peace. Okay. And I know I just realized it's 3, so we're wrapping this up soon. But that's a $400 price per head, meaning if every student in that club attends the event, they're getting a $400 bang for their buck. Meaning, like, you know what I mean? So if they pay a 220 student activity fee and one event is giving them a $400 benefit, that's something that we would deny. But let's say there's 80 people going to this $2,000 event, that's a $25 price per head. So it's not that we can vote whether or not it's more popular or not, but based off of general cost, theoretically, everyone should be getting the equal experience based off of their student activity fee. Does that make sense? Because that was quite the explanation.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. You guys also have the power to debate requests. Obviously, avoid conflict of interest, but you can debate requests once they leave, and you have the power to motion to table requests, approve requests, or deny requests. And I didn't put it in the presentation, but you can amend requests. So you can add amounts, but the amounts can't come out of thin air. You can say, oh, I want, this cheaper hotel, and you provide the invoice, then you can motion to lower or increase the request. Okay, Fang almost made it. It's the end of the presentation. So thank you, everyone. I know that's probably a 20-minute presentation, but thank you guys for listening and asking questions. Are there any other questions?
I only have a question about timeline with where we go from here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just like, so when can we expect to actually start meeting with student groups?
Yeah. So, okay, well, we have to decide this, and we can do this in the group chat later, like discussing, but does Sundays work for you guys? 2:00?
Yeah.
It does. I know it hurts. Hilkert?
Yeah.
Okay. Senator Sarwar?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. It's been Sunday my entire time in appropriations, so we will keep it Sunday. And what we'll do is we'll have, I think, we'll discuss this, but does earlier work, like 1:00, noon, or is 2 the best time?
I'm good with any time on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm good with later.
Later?
Yeah.
Later instead of earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe we'll keep it around 2, but basically how it works is every group gets around like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on like how long they talk. And, some people think they have to really vouch to get the money, so they'll talk for a long time, but we basically meet in time periods. So let's say we meet at 2, first group comes on Zoom at 2:15, 2:30 next group, 2:45 group after that. And then that's just the 3 groups. At 3:00, we will debate all of them in the order they came in. So what's going to happen is Monday, I'm launching the form. So student groups can start requesting any of the 3 lines. If I approve one 2 business days before Friday, so that's Wednesday. So I have, if it's 48 hours before the business day before the meeting, then I have to take them in. So they can request, and then anything that I request before Wednesday, we see them on Sunday. Now I'm the chair, so I have the discretion to accept them late. So if there's a group that's like, oh, we got an event in 5 weeks, and they submitted on Friday, I can present them Sunday. But depending on how many people request during the week, that's who's going to be on the agenda Sunday. And you guys, I want to make this commitment. I want you guys to get the agenda at least 2 days before the meeting, because in past chairs, not saying any names, I've been under 3 chairs, but past chairs have just sent a text meeting, and that's it. I'm going to make sure you guys have all the materials, their request form, their budget requests, their items, their invoices. You're all going to have that beforehand. So let's say I launch the form and nobody requests in this week, we won't have a meeting this Sunday. But if 1 group does, we have a meeting. If 2 does, we're going to have a meeting and meet with 2. So does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So we'll see how that goes. If you guys have any questions about the form, feel free to obviously ask me. I know for a fact that it's been 1 form every single, and I've probably heard this from my report. It's been 1 form every single year. This year we're doing 3 forms for each line. And after you guys saw the presentation, it makes no sense that we had 1 form for all 3 of those lines, right? There's literally different requirements. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing that we're doing 3 forms, and it's going to make a lot of sense. But anyway, any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, seeing none. Do you guys see the agenda?
Yep.
All right, so we're doing closing roll and adjournment. What I will add for next time is I'll add closing remarks if any of you guys want to say anything, at the end of a meeting. Like if one of you are really gung-ho about denying a request and it fails, I'll give you the right to explain your dissent. I love closing remarks. I think it's great. Okay, so we're going into closing roll now. Since I did say I wanted to end this by 3, Senator Fang will not be marked for absent. So Senator Fang is present. Senator Takor,
Here.
Senator Hilkert,
Here.
70 miles per hour. He's here. Okay, Senator Sarwar
Here.
and Chairman McCracken, I am here, and the chair of the Senate has just joined us in the last 1 minute of the meeting. I'm sorry, Chairman Ramsarad. It's over. I don't think you can. Hello?
My apologies.
No, what are you apologizing for? Come on now. How are you? Good?
I'm good. There's only 3 members here. I see.
Well, Senator Fang was here for the whole meeting, but he left at 3 like he told me beforehand. And as you could probably predict, my presentation went longer than I expected. I was talking a lot.
No problem.
All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Senator Takor, but with the reasoning behind watching the 4:15 games. Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. Seconded by Senator Sarwar. Any objections? All right. Okay. All right. All right. The camper does not want to object. Therefore, the motion to adjourn has passed, and we have adjourned at 3:11 p.m. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I'll stop the recording. Let's see here.